everybody, my name is Maya Alexis and I am a cloud engineer in the finance tech industry. So today I'll be talking to you guys about some of the things that no one really told me before I got into cloud and before I started working as an actual cloud engineer in the actual corporate world. So I really didn't get hands-on with AWS until after I had got my first cloud certification, which was the cloud practitioner. And I was doing an internship where I was a cloud engineer slash DevOps engineer. And so they had assigned me a project. And I realized after the certification that none of the stuff I had practiced for the certification was it related to anything that I was doing. So I would say it helped me learn the basics of most services, but that certification did not help me when I was actually doing my job and the stuff that I had to look into and actually do. And what I really was focused on was more about configurations and stuff. The certification didn't tell me about that type of stuff, so I kind of struggled with that initially and had to figure things out, and I was using a lot of command line tools and commands and stuff. Another thing I came to realize was that learning a lot of stuff for the AWS certifications was way different from actually doing stuff in AWS. In my personal opinion, learning how to configure stuff and how things work together was much more harder than me than actually studying for the certification. And AWS has so many products and services and different ways and workflows that you have to do things around, and it was kind of overwhelming and hard as a newbie and actually working on a team to actually do stuff and create applications and help get things done on my team. During my second internship, I got to work hands-on with the senior AWS cloud architect who was a consultant from AWS sent to my company to help us create an environment from the ground up to help us onboard different cybersecurity softwares for teams in my company to use. So I really got to help and see firsthand what it's like to be building different services and products in AWS. And so when he was working on the different products, we would meet every day for 3 hours, and I would just watch him do different things because I was actually scared to even touch that stuff because I didn't want to mess anything up. But he would ask for my advice and help sometimes, and I would kind of try to help as much as I could, but I really didn't know as much as he did, of course. And so watching him do a lot of stuff like creating EC2 instances using Elastic Beanstalk and just all these other products, I would sit there and be like, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. This is a lot. This is overwhelming. This is hard. But over time, it got a little better. But I will say the networking thing really just blew me. I'm not really that good with networking and HTTP protocols, all that type of stuff that you need to configure EC2 instances. He had that. So that was another thing I learned from working on that project. Really opened my eyes, and a lot of people don't seem to talk about it, but when it comes to working for a corporate company, your access is probably very limited with AWS. Basically my team would have to go to other teams and request certain things to use and access in AWS. So when you are using AWS in your own personal time, you have a whole playground. You could do anything you want. You can set things up as you want freely. But in most companies, because of security protocols and all that type of stuff, you don't have access to as much as you think. So when we were working on EC2 instances, he needed basically a EC2 image. Basically, he would copy it to other EC2 instances because it was the same server that he needed with the same layouts and stuff. But because of the security protocols, at my job, he would have to go and request another EC2 image to be used on the EC2s we were building for our project. And sometimes when he would ask, they would be on vacation. We wouldn't hear from them for days, so we would kind of be stuck because we needed those images to finish moving forward, creating the EC2 instances and onboarding the softwares that we needed for the cybersecurity teams. Another thing I learned is a lot of companies use a lot of different cloud services. My job, there's people using Azure, there's people using AWS, there's people using our private cloud, and there's some teams who still have stuff that's not even on the cloud and have their own data centers, while they're also having things that are in the cloud on data centers owned by these other companies. So it's just very weird how things are working out. But I think more companies will move towards moving as much as they can from their own personal data centers to actual companies like AWS and Microsoft's Azure. So yeah, there's a lot of different things. My team, as I've said before in other videos, my team doesn't even use AWS or Azure. We have our own private cloud, and honestly, when I'm deploying applications to the cloud, I'm still very confused as to what this cloud really does and how it really works. But I know how to do the basic things I need to do to successfully deploy things into dev, test, and prod. But yeah, clouds are very different sometimes, and it's just a learning you have to do. It's a learning curve, and I would say that be gentle on yourself. You're not going to know everything from the beginning. Certifications are good. It really does help you get a head start with stuff, because like there's people on my team who have no AWS certifications, and like I said, that my team is thinking about moving more towards AWS instead of our private cloud, but we'll see what happens with that. So hopefully this video gave you a little insight on like what I've kind of been doing, what I've learned recently. I may do like a vlog on a day in my life as a cloud engineer and what I've been doing, but yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and see you in the next one.